Injury-wise, no change from yesterday. We'll see where we are after practice.
Is there enough time with where he's at in the protocol for Flott to even get there at this point?
I don't think so.
Where does that leave you at cornerback? You're obviously going to be pretty short-handed there, right?
Yeah, work with a bunch of the guys that we have, and they all got to be ready to go.
Dave, you've been a position coach in this league. What kind of challenge is that going into a week? Sometimes if you get one player, you notice the talent and say, we got to get him ready. But when you have an entire group, what kind of challenge is that to make sure guys are ready on Sunday?
Yeah, I think, we got some guys who have been doing this a long time. It happens. So you spend a lot of time with the player that you're coaching, whatever position that may be. Sometimes early, sometimes extra meeting time, sometimes more on the field, and you do everything you can to get a guy ready. And then they have to, put their work into it.
What have you seen from Corey in that front coming back and being thrown right in the fire?
Yeah, he's done a good job. I think he's had good retention from what we've done before. I think Em has done a good job with him, and pretty conscientious guy, doing everything he can do to get ready and play. To the kid's credit, he's done a nice job.
You said no change injury report, and you had to figure out after practice. Are any of those guys in a position where they can play without practicing? Like Jermaine seemed pretty confident he'd be able to play. I don't know if he's in a separate bucket than maybe different guys. Or...
Yeah, no, I understand that question. I think, look, with all these guys, if they can play, I'll give them up until, as long as they need to be able to play. Again, we'll see where that goes.
When obviously in that spot, if Jermaine can't go, presumption would be Marcus. He's been, practicing, but obviously hasn't been in the lineup in a while. Saw signs early. Just curious from the rookie, do you kind of dig deep and find out, okay, this guy's been practicing the way he's ready to play, and now if we have to go to that direction, we will?
Yeah, whether it's a rookie or a vet, all those guys that play behind whoever the starter is, they're taking all the individual work, taking all the reps, they're taking the show team reps, and that's part of their job is to be ready to go.
Jackson's, both his wins have actually come at home, right? He's 2-0 at home, 0-3 on the road. How much of a benefit is it for a rookie quarterback when you play at home compared to the road? Is it that significant?
Yeah, so there's a lot of differences from silent count to regular count, how you want to play the game. I'd say there's a lot of things that go on, for any quarterback when you're in a road in a hostile environment. But he's done a good job in both areas. Again, we're going to have to play well. He's going to have to play well to give us a chance against a good team. But he's done a lot of good things in either setting, Jordan.
Do you think there's an emotional aspect to it of playing at home, though? A little bit to have that, everybody kind of behind you?
Yeah, it's great to play at home. You play well, you give the fans something to cheer about, they get behind you. That's a huge thing for anybody, for all of us. So the key is to play well and give the people something to cheer about, because that helps. Helps in defense when it's loud. It's the 12th man. That's a real thing.
I know you won't decide till tonight, but like with Turbo, you didn't elevate him when you had two running backs early in the season. Like, how much of a risk is that, or how much you weigh that risk of only having two running backs up? Because obviously, if something happens early in the game, you're down to one. Like, just how did you get to the point where you're comfortable with that, and how do you now? It's going to be Cam's not coming back, so
sure. You're really like that in a lot of positions if you lose two guys. So again, there's a lot of things in terms of going to the game, special teams related, things that you need to try to put the best team collectively out there. So those are discussions that we have. And there's a lot of different areas that you could go, whether it's a running back, whatever it may be. But we felt comfortable, obviously, those two games. And you're crossing your fingers really at any position, but you have two guys. There's games where we went to a game with one tight end in different places I've been to. So you just do what's best for the team collectively. And special teams is a big factor in that too. All good?
I got one. When training camp started, we were talking about Evan Neal a lot. He was taking first team reps at one point. Hasn't played yet. What have you seen from him in practice, and do you still feel like he is, like, do you play him at guard and tackle in practice? Is he just a guard now in your eyes? What do you see for Evan Neal?
He's working hard. Again, he's not in the starting lineup, and whatever we've asked him to do, he's done. He works hard at it, works hard at practice at it. We'll see what happens this week.
How have you managed the uncertainty with their quarterback situation?
Again, I think they have a system that's pretty conducive to both of those guys. It's not like one guy can just do this and the other guy can do this. They're pretty proficient at both and operate in Coach Shanahan's offense. So again, there's a lot of system that you're going through in practice, and you go back and obviously look at the 2 games that Brock played in years previous. But they both can operate whatever they need to do to be good in that offense.
Usually with the penalties and fines and stuff, we find out like the league determines stuff on Saturday. I'm curious what you thought. Like some people have mentioned potential hip drop tackle on the Zach Vaughn hit on Scatterby. I wonder what you think, or if you've talked to them about that specifically.
Yeah, I'm not going to give any details of what I talked to the league about.
It seems like there's been a lot of fanfare nationally for Jackson the last couple of weeks, and even Robert in San Francisco gushed about him when he met with the media. How is he handled going from like, all right, let's see how this kid does early on, to where now people are kind of starting to sing his praises, Jackson?
I don't think he really worries about any of that. I know he doesn't worry about any of that, good or bad. There's things that we're working on getting better. There's things that he's done really well. Again, since we got him in April, whenever it was, how I feel about him, and that hasn't changed. His approach hasn't changed. He's a young professional that keeps getting better.
What's your relationship with Salah, having both been not just I know you talked about it as a coach, defense. Yeah. What's your personal relationship with him, having both been here for 3 years?
Yeah, I have a good relationship with Salah. Got a lot of respect for him, his family. He's a good dude. He's a good coach, but he's a good dude.
Does it predate you guys being here as head coaches?
You know each other throughout the league. He's been doing it quite a long time. But I'd say that it's probably gotten stronger with us being close in proximity. But again, he's a good dude. He's a good coach. He's a good dude.
Would you like to see him get another shot as a head coach?
Yeah, that's not up to me. But I'd like to see anybody's career go like this. Again, he's a good football coach, good guy. I wish him all the best, except this week.